Canadian shows, got my first commercial, and then worked my way up to speaking roles. This is gonna be a long story, so I'll shorten it, but it's been 28 years now. Don't do that. I turned 40 last month. Happy to still be there. And yeah, then I've been able to luckily work my entire career. And I'd say in the past 4 years, I started producing and directing. And I have a real passion for behind the camera right now because my entire career, as it is for all of us, you have to tell other people's stories and you have to wait for that opportunity. And I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. I want to control the content. I want to tell my stories. So I started writing, and that's where I'm sort of heading. I'm still obviously acting and everything, but I found a passion to tell my own stories.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi. Is there another side? Oh, God. No one prepared me. Hello.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Good.
Welcome to New Jersey. Thanks for coming out to see us.
My first time here. It's great. Yeah. Anything I should be doing while I'm here?
No, you're doing great.
Oh, okay.
No, so my question is, one of my favorite scenes or segments in Smallville was when your character Lara was teaching. Clark how to fly.
I didn't succeed at that.
Do you have any memories about those scenes and just kind of how that went? Could you share with us?
So I've told this story before, so I'm sorry if you've heard it, but there was a scene, one of many, where I'm teaching him to fly. And we were in the loft, and the scene required me to push him towards the open barn doors. And he decides, I'm not doing this right now, and walks off. So we did several takes of that, but one of the particular takes, Tom fell out the window when I pushed him. And I panicked. I thought I'd killed Superman, and I was fired. And Tom had talked to the crew about it, and they were all in on it, and there were pads below, and he just fell onto that. And I looked down, I was like, thank God. And then he looked up and gave me the middle finger, and everyone was laughing. So there were multiple things, especially with Rosenbaum, right? There's always jokes happening on set. And being the new kid in school, like we've all been through that actual experience, but being the new kid on set after 7 seasons, it was a lot. I was a fan of the show, and so I'm meeting everyone for the first time. I want to fit in, I want to do a good job, and they were super welcoming. Like, it was a great set to be on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for being here too.
So you were amazing as Kara. Obviously, Supergirl is iconic in her own right. So I'm curious, how did you prepare for the role? I watched a lot of like the DC animated series when I was growing up, and so Supergirl would like make appearances and stuff. Did you ever watch the cartoons, or how did you prepare?
How did I prepare? Yeah, I mean, first of all, she always would make little appearances, and I just want to say I'm so glad Supergirl finally got her own series for a while there. Didn't last long enough, but that's all I ever wanted for this character, whether it was me or not, and I did get a chance to be on that, which was fun. But in terms of the preparation, I'm gonna piss some people off right now. When I auditioned, I thought I wasn't into comics. I thought Supergirl was like his girlfriend, maybe his sister. I didn't know. So I had a very short period of time when I was finally cast to study. So I looked into a bit of it, but honestly, the producers of the show were like, we're telling a different version of her. Some of the history will still be here. She was in suspended animation. She's actually older than him. But other than that, I watched Helen Slater, obviously, from the 80s, her film. But I wanted to make her my own. This was the first time we were seeing kind of a female superhero on television. I think Smallville was the beginning of this whole thing we're seeing now, which is great. But it was important for me to have my own spin on it. So there was no preparation, truly. And I think the first week I got there, before I even met the cast, they had me in a harness learning to fly. And I was up in the air and I was like, this is magic. Like this is gonna be so rad to be a part of. And it's still going, which is crazy. And we're so grateful for you guys.
Well, I think you made perfect Supergirl, so.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I feel like a swivel bobblehead.
That answered my question partially. Does it still blow your mind that 16 years later that you still recognize you as Supergirl?
Yeah, it does. I don't think any one of us knew at the time, especially for the rest of the cast who did more seasons than I did, really what the show would represent, and we didn't expect it to go on in the fandom world for this long, but like it's a blessing. I'm so grateful to have played Kara. I don't know which side of the fence you guys are on that, but it helped later on in my career as well. And it's so important for me to play strong women, and I try to find those roles, and I think that really originated from playing her, because I realized there's a power in that, and you have kind of boots to fill, and young girls were looking up to Supergirl at the time, so it was very important for me to make sure that the choices I made after that were positive, or at least a role that I would be proud of, because there's like, once you play a superhero, it's like, where do you go from there, you know? You always want to play someone that will impact the audience. Yeah. Did that answer your question, or did I ramble?
That answered it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No. So it helped me get to a further place in my career, you know?
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I sold a few things and stole a few things.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thank you. There is nothing wrong with that. Hi.
Hi Laura, good to meet you again. I don't know if you remember me, but I met you in San Antonio at the Supergirl Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
And you were so sweet because you gave a copy of your book to daughters.
Yeah, Super Duper Delia is a children's book that I wrote.
You signed it, so thank you. Very, very sweet.
course.
So I was wondering if you're going to write any more books.
That's the plan, yeah. So Super Duper Delia, if you guys don't know, it's on Amazon. This isn't like a sales pitch, but it kind of is. It's about a little girl that becomes a superhero on her birthday, and it runs in the generation of women in her family. So she finds out on her birthday, she suddenly has, the super hearing, supervision, but she uses it only when necessary, because she still has to get through life without these superpowers. So yeah, I wrote the book, we self-published, and I'm looking into children's authors that will help me with the rest of the story for her, because there's so much story to tell for Delia. Did your daughter like it?
Yeah, they loved it.
Can you imagine you were like, no, she hated it.
What made you get into writing?
I went to university for psych and English. So I've always wanted to be a writer, even before I was an actor. Like as a kid, I wanted to be a psychologist. So it's come in handy as an actor because I can dissect characters and people. But writing has always been a passion for me. I wrote poetry growing up, and so the first time I actually got through a full script that I wrote was for the film that I directed. And hopefully I can continue to do more of that. And I know Delia, the children's book, has a nice audience out there, and they've been asking for more stories, so I'm gonna get on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Laura, I'm Zach, nice to meet you.
Hi, Zach.
Congrats on all the success that you post on your Instagram, like your films and festivals, all that.
Thank you.
The projects that you're making, like what's your process in getting them made? Like are you self-funding or are you pitching at all? Like I know you kind of answered that you sort of raised it.
Yeah.
But like now, what's like the process you find yourself in like getting it made?
So yeah, the film that I directed, I self-funded by selling things I stole. And maybe not steal, borrow, forever. But I currently have optioned the book series called Gideon. It's a trilogy series, it's like a female Dexter. So in terms of trying to get that made and developed, I'm just pitching to different studios. I just had a pitch last week with a production company, and I'm feeling pretty confident that they're going to go for it, and then together we'll take it forward to studios. But it's a process. Like right now is not the time to be trying to develop and sell, because a lot of networks are shy to purchase. They want to know that something's going to be a success. So for them, that might be procedurals. Like the CSIs, let's assure that people watch those. It's the storyline every week. The project I'm developing is very different.
Yeah,
It's original. It's a combination of different genres. So it's just finding the right home and not giving up. And giving up seems like the easy road a lot of the time. But I'm gonna keep moving forward. Are you developing?
Somewhat in the process, yeah.
Yeah. It's a road. It's a journey. But the right home, you'll find the right home for it. You just have to keep going. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Victoria.
Hi, Victoria. I'm Laura.
Hi. I also have a degree in creative writing, and I was wondering how you approach the writing process, like in the very beginning, and also what's your favorite genre to write?
Ooh, congrats, by the way. That's amazing. I would say my method, and it's usually I have a concept or a story I want to tell or a version of it, but I always start with the title. And I don't know if that's normal. But it helps. Age of Dysphoria was a film that I created. I didn't write it, but it was story by, and I worked with a writer because at the time I didn't trust myself. And I said, this is the title, this is the concept. So for me, it's always starting with the title. I think it tells you a lot about what's important in the story. And then I just have to be in like a very specific mood to write. And usually that's like a really dark, depressed state. For whatever reason. I wrote my first thing in 2020 when I was quarantining like 6 different times in Canada because I was working a lot at the time. And I was just stuck in an apartment by myself and not sleeping. And so I just started writing. So it's like almost a manic state. I don't think this is healthy to talk about. But I think everyone has their own methods, right? I'm sure you do.
Yeah. I also had a creative stint during 2020, but I liked it. I liked being quarantined.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert, so I like that.
High five to introverts.
So what's your favorite genre to write?
Sorry, I didn't answer that. Genre, I would say dark drama. I grew up loving Tim Burton, Hitchcock. Yeah, it's usually like, I want to tell, it's not really a genre, but human stories, and it's usually heavier content. I mean, rom-coms and things like that are fun, or the sci-fi genre, but I don't have a passion to write for them. I love to play those women, but yeah, it would be more of the human story drama side. What about yourself?
I like more fantasy, sci-fi, but I do find that like in those genres, you can take the human element and amp it up to like 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're heightened stories already.
So maybe you could write something for me to play in since you write genre.
That would be cool.
One of the things I like about women in like the sci-fi genre is that, like you said, you can heighten them. And those are fun to play. You do get the human drama stories, but you can't heighten them because they're based in reality. So as an actor, you're like, okay, I know how to play this, but in sci-fi, you can go above and beyond.
So they're not teenagers yet.
Right, we'll get ready.
I know. So, every day is a joy.
Yeah, and every day is a roller coaster, I'm sure. Advice in what arena?
Just, yeah.
Life.
You know, I mean, they're very interested in those stories, but when themselves are very timid and just kind of want to come out of their shells a little bit more and be that person that they don't think that they are, but as parents we see, you know.
The potential is
Yeah.
there, yeah. That's really tough.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, and they should never be sorry. This is a very broad question. Fight for your space. Yeah. It's very general maybe, but it's fight for your space because you deserve to have it. Whether that's like physically, metaphorically, whatever it is, I'm still fighting. And especially in my industry or just in social settings, like as an introvert too. I mean, I don't know if they are, but
Yes.
yeah, so it's a feeling of not belonging. It's I didn't earn to be here. I'm a fraud. Whatever it is, I'm in therapy. Also highly recommend that. It's just knowing you're supposed to be here. You have a purpose, you are a good person, take up your space.
That's so good. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I think that's helpful. I'm not gonna cry, guys. I've already cried today, so it's fine. I'm just joking, I didn't cry. Hi.
My name is Shanna. I was curious to know if you and Tom had ever spoken, at the beginning of you coming on to Smallville about the dynamic, because that was always fun for me to watch, and I didn't want to know whether it was something that was kind of scripted or if it was something that you guys talked about to kind of elevate it a little bit more from what was originally on the page.
Great question. So our dynamic as just cousins, or?
Well, it was almost like a brotherly, sisterly relationship rather than cousins from my perspective. It seemed almost at times comedic and sarcastic, kind of similar to how him and Lois, but not in a loving setting, kind of acted. So I
It was a
found it
surprise for me, because I thought they were girlfriend and boyfriend.
So I just always found it fun, and I was just always interested in whether or not that was something written and in the manner in which you guys played it, or if it's something that you guys talked about making it, he has that Lois and Clark fun dynamic, but we know that where that leads, but this one was more of a brotherly and sisterly one that we hadn't really seen in TV, at least in live action TV, before.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. I think some of that was in the writing, but I think also as we got to know each other as people on set, I would poke fun of him quite a bit. And I think that dynamic came across on camera, and I think that's kind of what it needed to be. Someone who kind of puts him in his place. I mean, I know that happened with other characters, but I think I also just felt like Tom was an older brother to me because he was showing me around the set and getting me comfortable, and he felt like a protector. And then as a little sister, that meant that I needed to poke at him and make fun of him and have that fun dynamic. And I think the more that the writers saw that, they leaned into it, and that's probably how it came about. But no, there was no discussions beforehand of how are we going to make this work. It just happened, which is great. It was a natural progression.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
We just met.
I remember.
So I love Coffee Shop because I went to Fairhope myself right after. It's an amazing town. My question for you is, can you briefly describe your daily routine to get ready to nominate the day?
Just in life.
I have a quick question. One question first. Sorry to interrupt. Laura, how is it working with Michael Rosenblum?
A lot of fart jokes. Speaking of which, talk about your fart book.
Oh yeah, I got the fart book coming out. Who's getting a fart book? Who's getting one of my fart books? All right. Thank you. I don't want to interrupt.
Well, this is very new.
Yeah, we're gonna do a group thing tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're gonna be fun. I can't see shit. All right, she's amazing. All right, so,
This
yeah,
is
I'm
it?
gonna do some signing. No, I'm here.
No, I mean the stage.
Do you want me to do the moonwalk?
Yes.
Oh, I just fell off the stage. Oh my god. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Bye. Oh, sorry, I didn't answer the question. So my daily routine. It starts with coffee, because nothing can happen until there's coffee. I don't know really what you're looking for.
Laura produced a Halloween movie. Maybe Hallmark Channel.
Laura Vandervoort.
Next up, somebody who was on Smallville from the beginning. She was Clark's first love, Lana Lang. She's currently starring in Living in a Small Town, season 1 on Fox. If you follow her on Instagram, she's doing book readings with fans, which is kind of cool. She left in season 7, came back for a couple episodes in season 8, and we would like to welcome Kristen Krug.
guys are cold?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, begin. Hi.
But I love to read, and I know you also love to read.
I do.
So I wanted to know what your all-time favorite book is.
Okay, listen, I say the same thing all the time, which is fine. I feel like it's okay. Anne of Green Gables. It's my favorite, and I got a beautiful edition today as a gift, which is lovely. And I have a, bye Laura!